Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Joni Young if you're new, and thanks so much for joining me today for this Moon and Stars in the Water painting tutorial. We've got a 9x12 canvas, a few brushes I'll have linked below this video, and some colors: white, turquoise, blue, pink, and rose. And all those colors and brands will be listed below as well. Let's start off with number 20 flat brush and some white. I'm going to take a little bit of my neon pink as well and a bit of water in my brush. I'm just going to slide my brush side to side in the middle of the canvas. This is going to be the brightest area of our painting, besides the stars and the moon, of course. So just a little blending back and forth. You really need to have a little bit of white mixed in with the pink in order for it to really glow later on. The next color I'm going to be taking is my neon rose. Clean brush, a little bit of white as well, and this is neon rose. These brands are by, my neon paints are by Holbein, and I'll have a link below for those as well. I'm going to start off on the top left, sweep that over, go in, weave in and around the neon pink area, and pretty much cover the whole canvas with this color. Now, it doesn't have to be solid. In fact, I recommend and advise that you use a little bit more of the rose here and there, a little bit less here and there, to make it light and dark in areas so that you really get a play on light and shadow. With the end result, you'll see how beneficial it is and how much of a difference it makes. Otherwise, if you make it too solid and it's the same shade all over, you'll be left with a really flat and boring painting. So I'm going to kind of start sweeping on a bit of an angle here from the left down towards the right to give some movement in our water. Gentle little slopes like this can really make a big difference in creating some movement and interesting perspective in your paintings. And I'm just using a little bit of water here and there. A lot of people ask how much water I'm using, if any. I always tell you during the painting tutorial with each step, okay? As long as you're not having drips on your canvas, you've got just enough water in there, because too much water will cause dripping and you'll be unhappy with the outcome. The next color I'm adding is my beautiful phthalo blue, a little bit of white. I've dried the first layers of my painting off so I can come over and filter or glaze, however you want to call it, with this powdery blue color. Now, it's important to have a little bit of white in with the blue so that it's not too solid. Phthalo blue is a very, very strong saturated color, and it can dry quite dark when over top of another color. So keeping a little bit of white mixed in with that phthalo blue will give you a really, really soft shade of blue that's going to be nice and still allow some of that rose and pink to peek through, creating some softer shades of violet and lavender, and just kind of look like a cotton candy sky as well as the water. So I'm going to continue down here, sloping with my brush, going along with that direction and movement of the water, sweeping in gentle little swirls and scoops like this. You can make yours a little higher and add a little bit more exaggeration if you want, just by bringing it up higher and lower on one end. So just experiment, take an older canvas and experiment creating movement, and discover all the things that you can do with angles and slopes and sweeps to your brushes and brush strokes. So I'm careful not to cover up all of the rose and the pink. I want to make sure that's clear. Otherwise, what's the point of having all those other colors we started off with? They want to play on one another, so you want to make sure that you're having all of those colors visible. And now I'm going to come in after drying that layer off. After applying that blue and white, I completely dried it off with my hair dryer, and now I'm coming in with a soft layer of my neon pink, and I'll add a little touch of the neon rose here and there as well. Notice how I don't go over completely in the center there. I've still got that original first layer of white and pink, so it's still glowing there, and it looks like a really pretty cotton candy sunset. And now I'm going to get more daring and saturate over with my neon pink over top of a lot of that light blue that we originally added. And this is going to play on this light pink that we're adding over, is really going to play on the soft turquoise, the minty turquoise that we're going to be adding later on. Okay, and again, I'm applying that to the water as well. Now I've got a number 14 Filbert brush, turquoise green, a little bit of the phthalo blue, and I'm going to use the tip of my brush and start adding some depth and shadows and contrast in the water. Going with that same shape and slope, I'm going to add a few more lines, some thinner and some thicker. Once I add the first few layers and lines with my blue and turquoise, I'm going to start using less blue and use more turquoise. So I'm going to start creating some lighter, mintier, turquoisey shades. And then once I do that, I'll add a little bit of white to my turquoise to make even lighter shades of that soft minty color that you'll see me creating my clouds with. So I'll be using a little bit more white every time I do this. I've still got a hint of that blue in there, which makes more of a blue turquoise, and that's pretty as well. Now you can get both blue turquoise and turquoise bright aqua green in Liquitex Basics acrylics at your local art store. They're both really nice to have, but as you can see here, if you have certain colors, you can just make them. I've got lots of color recipes, so if you ever need help with making a color that you don't have, just pop it in the comments below or connect with me on Patreon and I can help guide you along the way with colors. So I'm just going to finish up the water here, and then I'm going to clean my brush off and go straight to just turquoise and white. I don't want to have a lot of water in my brush for this, so I'm just going to hold my brush flat, and without having too much paint or too much water in my brush, I'm able to kind of just scumble gently around in little circles this way and that way, so clockwise, counterclockwise, and just adding more and more white with my turquoise each time I do this will create some really soft, fluffy looking clouds, and you can see how pretty this color is and complementary it is to the neon pink and the soft purple tones and lilacs and lavenders we've got. All of these colors work beautifully together. You really can't go wrong with working with pastel tones. They all look really pretty together, and with all of the dark silhouette paintings I've been doing lately, I really wanted to take a break and change it up and go back to working with some really soft colors. So it's kind of nice to do that. You know, switch it up when you're painting so you never get stuck in a rut and just painting the same thing all the time. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck as an artist and you're not going to grow. So you really need to do different things. It's like eating the same meals every single day, day in and day out. You get bored and sick of that, right? And so you need to try new recipes. So I'm going to come in here on the left and the right side, just moving and dancing around with my brush, kind of just letting my intuition guide me along the way where I want to travel around with my clouds. And I always like my paintings to tell a little story. It keeps it fun and exciting for me and for the viewer as well. So I dried it off and I'm coming in with another layer, a little bit more white and turquoise, just in some spots. So not the entire cloud. We want to have that first layer kind of visible, so that creates a little bit of depth, makes it a little bit more lifelike in 3D. So you have some see-through areas and some that are a little bit thicker with that white and turquoise. Now there's different whites and different turquoises out there, so depending on what you're using, your colors may vary, and it also looks a little bit different depending on what device you're watching this from or looking at this from. So play around with your turquoises and your whites. I love titanium white. I think it makes the most beautiful shades of pastels, and it is opaque, it's not transparent, so unlike zinc white. Zinc white is very transparent. You may have a hard time getting the finish that you want and creating the brush strokes that you want because it kind of sometimes put it on and it kind of just disappears. But zinc white is really good for adding mist and fog and that kind of a look to your paintings and landscapes. So now what I'm going to do is come down here on the bottom and add some minty white highlights and make it kind of glow a little bit and reflect what's going on up top. I'm going to take a little bit of my blue turquoise or my phthalo blue turquoise and white and add a little bit on the left and right corner. And then I'm going to come in and just go over a little bit more with some clouds. I felt like I needed to have just a little bit more here, and maybe it's just because I have so much fun playing with color and creating these clouds. But I just want to kind of exaggerate, and I think it really helps you guys learn by watching, so repetition is really great. If you see me just paint one thing once, just one time, you can't really pick up all the ways I'm holding my brush, the way I'm applying the paint, but if you see me do it over and over and over again, that's the best way to learn. The next brush I've got is my number 3 round. I've got a little bit of white and pink, more white than pink, and I'm just going to create a little crescent moon here, really easy. You can make yours a little thicker, thinner if you want. It's up to you, however you want to paint your moon. I thought it would be kind of fun and mystical to have it down in the water, kind of floating on a wave. You can just, interpret this painting however you like. It's obviously a fantasy painting, but it's very dreamy, and I'm going to hang it by my bedside, so if I ever have trouble going to sleep at night, I'll just look at that, and kind of makes me feel relaxed and a little bit sleepy. So what I want to focus on is adding a little bit of pink around the outside of the moon, so sort of going over partially over that whiter area, the whitest in the very center of the moon, so it really glows, and then pink around the edges. I'm going to take what's left on my brush, a little bit of pink and white, and just scumble around little dabs here and there, little blobs, see-through, transparent, and that will be the glow that is around each of these little stars. I'll come in and I'll dot and dab smaller ones, and you can see it's almost like just I'm being very kind of messy and carefree with it. I like that feeling around, the edges of things that I'm wanting to have in full focus. So in the center of this little mess, it looks like a bit of a mess I'm creating here. The center of that, I'll have more detailed stars. But yeah, you don't want everything in your painting to be in full focus. So choose a few things that you want to add more details to. But if you make everything full detail, full focus, a painting, believe it or not, can be really boring. Same with a photograph. So choose one or two things that you really want that stand out to you. What do you want people to focus on? What do you want them to notice when you look at the painting? What's special to you when you're taking a photo or when you're painting something? What's on your mind? What are you feeling at the time? And focus on that, making everything else a little blurry, a little bit messy. I know it's kind of scary to let yourself be a little bit messy, but with time and practice, you'll get more comfortable, and you'll understand that it's important to have those areas where you're a little bit looser with a brush. So just coming in and adding a little dab in the center of white, and then pulling and flicking little lines this way and that way. You can add more if you want. You can do a basic T and then an X, and you can create a star that way, or you can just pull from the center each time like I do. I wanted to try and demonstrate a few different ways of painting stars in this section, so don't fast forward, watch this, and you'll see how easy it is and how many different ways you can create stars. I don't know if that's because I just kind of get bored sometimes of doing it the same way, or I'm trying to learn more as an artist myself, even though I've been painting for many, many years. I always want to grow and learn more and experiment, so I like to have the camera rolling while I do this and take you guys along with me. And thank you, by the way, for being part of my little art journey. I like to say that in each video because it's my art journey. It's my story in my life, and letting you guys be a part of that and knowing that you guys want to be a part of that is really special to me. So I appreciate all of you guys very much. And I love that you guys have made me part of yours too, and sharing your stories and your beautiful paintings, tagging me in them means a lot. So thank you guys, and keep going. You're doing an amazing job. You've got a wonderful, wonderful future and an exciting art journey ahead of you. So just adding little dots and dabs there towards the center of the canvas, so the stars are just kind of trailing off. And then I'm going to add a little section here. No real stars that are going to stand out too much. I just want to have a few little dots and dabs, tiny little ones here and there. First with mint, and then just, when I say mint, I mean a little bit of that green turquoise mixed with some white. And then I just go back and add a little dab of white here and there, so that some of them are brighter and more sparkly than others. And I'll do the same thing down here. I want to dry it off in between. I don't show the hair dryer in this video, but I do dry off in between, so I can go back and kind of filter over, glaze over with a dry brush of the neon pink around the outside edges. So I just kind of go around in a light little circle, and then I go back inside with just straight white. I'll finish off with a few more highlights on my clouds, just a dry scumble with my turquoise and white. And then I'm also going to go inside the purpley area between the clouds at the top, and I'm going to add some neon pink and white and make the clouds kind of glow inside of there a little bit more. So this shows you that you can really add so many layers to a painting with just making it brighter and kind of creating more contrast, I guess you could say, with acrylic. Acrylic is really forgiving, and it allows you to do that. That's why I love painting with acrylic. But you'll see here, after I finish up adding a little bit more highlights to my clouds, when acrylic paint dries, it can dry a little duller. So that's why I like to go back mid-painting, sometimes even the next day, and add a little bit more highlights where I need to. It also depends on the paint you're using, of course, how much water you're using. When paint is wet, especially when you're using water, it can appear a lot brighter, but you'll notice the next day when you go back and you're kind of like, oh, that's not how I remember it looking. What happened? Well, that's exactly what's happening. It's the canvas, the paint soaks into the canvas, depends on what canvas you're using, but 9 times out of 10, it's that acrylic dries darker. So if this is happening to you, don't feel discouraged. It's very, very normal. If there's anything you're ever wondering about and feeling discouraged about, don't hesitate to comment below, because I don't want anybody to give up. I want to be kind of like a coach for you guys and help you along the way, because I've been there. I've been there so many times. I've thrown paintings out, I've ruined them, and I've said, that's it, I'm never painting again. But I pushed through it, and I'm sure glad I had those people in my life that told me not to give up. So I want to be that for you guys. So like I mentioned before, I was going to come right in here over top of that purpley color between the mint clouds and just add a little bit of neon pink and white to finish this painting off. I think it looks really, really pretty. And I think I'm going to do a really big one like this, maybe add a few other things to it. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing that, and I'll film that for you and make it a tutorial as well. I want to come in down the bottom here, the bottom section, and add some bright, bright highlights, reflection of the moon and the stars. So just with my little brush here, you can use any liner brush or round brush, but I've been using my brushes that I just love from my set of brushes. They're excellent brushes, and they're all cruelty-free. And they also match really nicely with this painting, unplanned, but I chose the gold ferrules and the lavender handles specifically because I love the way they look and they go together, and it's one of my favorite colors. But I really wanted to add, for the final touches down here, a little bit of that neon pink and white, not only under the moon. You'll see just a few little lines there for ripples and reflections for that moon, but around the stars, so just a little line here and there, a little slope to keep that movement and those ripples in the water visible. And then that is it for this painting. I really, really enjoyed working on this one. I've got a few more galaxy type space, more on the fantasy side though, of stars and moons and clouds and lots of fun colors. I've got a whole playlist of those, so if this is something that you're into and you like this kind of subject, you might want to click on that playlist and have a look and see what's all there. Plus there's lots of northern lights as well, and I'm always showing you new tips and tricks and painting hacks that you might not see anywhere else, because I'm a self-taught artist. I had no YouTube, I had no books or videos or anything. I just taught myself at home many, many years ago. So I've got a bit of unique advice and tips and tricks for you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.